My name is Mary Cheney. I am the owner and managing attorney of the law offices of Mary and Cheney, PLLC, better known as the Cybersecurity Law Firm of Texas, and welcome to the Breach Whisperer blog. In this blog, we will be talking about privacy and cybersecurity issues worldwide. For those of you that are familiar with my written blog, this is an extension of that or replacement for it, depending on my time and my ability to record or write blog posts. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in my previous works, if you can click on the link below, and it'll take you to my law firm website where the blog posts are there. Don't forget, speaking of links, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. So I know you guys are asking me why in the world or would we want to watch anything about cybersecurity and privacy. I mean, it can be highly technical, it can be full of acronyms, it could be legalese, it can be technical terms. And, because I feel like cybersecurity and privacy are not going away. And, I want to be able to share the knowledge that I have. I mean, in this video blog, we will be trying to educate the masses on cybersecurity and privacy. So, and things that you come across on a daily basis that you may not even think about that may affect you going forward. So, we will do this through articles, excerpts of speaking events that I may do, just basically any random things that I come across and find that I'm hitting record on certain things. I think that it's very important. I have a unique perspective. I think, based on my background, I could look at things from the cybersecurity perspective, the privacy perspective, it could be the hacker or the criminal perspective, the law enforcement or investigator perspective. It's so many different things that, are happening in cybersecurity and privacy that you guys may not think about. And being an owner of my own law practice, the things that come across my desk are amazing. So be warned, I may switch hats mid sentence. And, hopefully it's just to get you guys to think about things and in a different way. And please feel free to send me anything that you may find that you think I may find interesting. It may just make the blog. You never know. Caveat here, I'm a public speaker. I don't believe in too many edits. If I mess up, I mess up. So let's get started on your privacy and cybersecurity journey. And welcome to the blog today. So today I've been seeing a couple things in the news that I want to talk about, and I always try to give people warnings, so to speak, if they're, people are not reading up on this stuff, but there are certain things that the FBI might say or that's going on out there that I want to bring light to just in case you're in that business. So I saw an article where there was three um, private equity companies that were hit with a business email compromise scheme to the tune of 1.3 million. It was three different firms. The byline goes, it was three different firms that they thought they were funding their startups or their investments that they made, and ended up that they had been victim to a business email compromise. So business email compromise is just another form of phishing. But what they do is they interject themselves into the okay. Let's start from the beginning. How this will go. So basically, you have a high target person that you just, whether it be the CFO, whether it be somebody that's high profile in your company, get targeted with a phishing email, um, just to gain access to the account, and then to actually start to see how the corporation operates, right? So if you're a private equity firm and once someone's in your systems, they're able to see those emails going back and forth, and they're just trying to get a sense of how business is done. And then what they do is they start to tamper with the victim's outlook and start to redirect different or diverting relevant emails to a different folder, same email box but different folder that person may not use, right? And then they'll start to the next step of that is to register domain names that look like the domain names in question. So if you have a startup com, it might be startups.com that they register to try to trick you and to impersonate the people, and then now they're getting the emails, right? And then that's how they insert themselves in the conversation. And then they start to feed you false bank information. So by the time that you realize that you've asked for these details, the attacker has the email that you're asking for, this ACH or whatever information that you have. They're putting their information in there, and they're sending the email along without the two individual parties having any idea. So if you're at a private equity firm and you have multiple investments, this is a problem. This could be a huge problem. And so in this particular case, in the article that I read, it was out of the UK. They lost $600,000 total. Someone got wind of it. They didn't lose the whole 1.3, but $600,000 was gone that they won't be able to recover. So the FBI put out some tips. Where did I put those? Oh, there you go. They put out some tips on how you now start to battle this business email compromise type of scenario. Now, some of it is technical, some of it is non-technical. So for the end user, for your account, enable multi-factor authentication on your account, period. That means, of course, especially even if you remember yourself on your own PC, if somebody else has got hold of your credentials, you'll get an email or whatever you're using from a multi-factor perspective. Protect yourself with them. And what I've always said is verify all payments and transactions with somebody that you trust. Okay, that investment, that the CEO or the startup or whomever that's responsible in this transaction, before you send the money, say, okay, let me verify your banking details. This is what I have. That's a process issue, right? That's you taking it outside of what you're seeing in the computer to verify that sensitive information. And of course, educate your end users about security awareness is always a thing. Educate them about how it happens, right? How do individuals fall victim to these types of schemes? And on the IT side, and they gave a whole list of things. I won't go through the whole list. I'll link the article, of course. But one of the things IT can do is prevent or prohibit auto forward of emails to external accounts. So you get in there and you can go in from a technology perspective and prevent email forwarding to external accounts off the domain, and prohibit legacy systems or legacy email protocols like IMAP and POP3 and SMTP. Those types of technologies, if you actually eliminate those, that will save you the runaround for people trying not to auto forward it without the multi-factor authentication in tow. So just like I'm saying, if you're in that industry, somebody in that industry, or even if you're not in that industry, just understanding how business email compromises work, it helps in how to actually battle from a security awareness perspective, and educating your employees about these types of things that are going on, especially now that we're going through this pandemic and everybody's working remotely, right? And so maybe, we've talked about this before, employees that go into a building, but they're not going into a building, they're at home, and they're not thinking about certain things or not following through on some things that they would if they were in the office, right? So you have, and then you want to add in some of the, okay, see, I'll continue to go on and on, but internal threat and individual employees that may feel that their job may not be there after this pandemic may be susceptible to coordinating some type of fraud against the company. So all of these things are out there. You just have to remain vigilant and continue to follow those protocols that the organization has put in place. The cyber defenders, I know it's the wild, wild west out there. Network, it doesn't look like it used to, but follow those protocols that or those controls that people have put in place for you, and it'll help battle against some of these attacks. So stay tuned for the random thought. Thanks a lot. Does your organization have written cybersecurity policies and procedures? If not, you may want to take a look at the Cybersecurity Law Firm of Texas Policy Starter Pack. May have some things out there that may interest you in your organization. One of the most interesting things that I found out when transitioning from the government to private industry is that a lot of organizations just don't write down what their policies and procedures are. And then when there's some type of incident, they have a hard time proving that they were being reasonable in their approach. So please take a look at our starter pack, and if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. A random thought for today. So, what's going to be intriguing? So, I was reading an article in regards to election security and how none of the funding that has been gone out for small businesses has addressed the state issues. And knowing that we're in an election year and that the states when they're fully funded have a problem with cybersecurity in regards to election security, not allowing them to get that extra funding because they've had to divert funds from anything in order to battle this particular pandemic. So to not be able to fund the coffers so you can actually do some of these things in regards to election security, it's going to be intriguing to watch this space. The election security is it's ripe with a lot of things. We talked about mail-in ballots. We're talking they online, in person. Some states only want in person. Even here in Texas, um, you if you have a disability, you can get a mail-in ballot. But there have been, I don't think it was the governor. I think it was a court that said essentially you if you're afraid of getting coronavirus, you can get a mail-in ballot. Um, Under the disability exception, right? But it's going to be fascinating to see because, like I said, since 2016, we haven't really done a lot. And then for the strides that were made, I don't think there's enough. And then if they run out of money, oh my God. I mean, so I we'll probably talk about this again as I continue to look out that, and hopefully Congress will make up some more money or print some more money and fund the states that they can actually help divert more money back to the election security in that regard. So we'll see what happens. I hope you guys have a great day and hope you and your family are safe. Bye bye. Guys, thanks again for listening to the Breach Whisperer blog, sponsored by the cybersecurity law firm of Texas. Don't forget to like this post and subscribe to our channel so you can get updates of when we post new things on our channel. In addition, spread the word for me, right? Let's get out there and tell a friend, and so they can all become paranoid cybersecurity and privacy people. Don't forget, if you would like to connect with me on socials, you can connect with me on Twitter at Mary N. Cheney. Use my middle initial always. For my nonprofit, Minorities in Cybersecurity, that is at Mike Leadership, and Instagram and Facebook at MN Cheney Law. And you can find me on LinkedIn just by searching for my name. So if you're interested, connect with me. Thanks again. And just remember, awareness equals knowledge.